Well, we're going to take 33 seconds of quiet in here to just celebrate the fact that we finally got a possession game, that we had the ball more than they did. So if we could just pause. No, we could. That was a crazy game. There's a lot of stuff that happened, and a marvelous job of just hanging and staying together and keeping it going where we had a chance to win. And I mean, it was one end to the other as far as extremes of play, and I'm really happy that our guys got a chance to get in the locker room and have fun with it and get a great win. You know, no matter when you get one, it's great, and this one was much needed, and there was a lot to celebrate in the game. A lot of huge plays. The big special teams play to start the game off was just great design by Izzo and Larry Izzo and Tracy Smith to take advantage of something they saw, and then perfect execution by the guys on there. And of course, Homer does the scoring. Ballor's blocking down. Everybody did great on that one. That's just an amazing play. But the rest of the game, to come back in the 2-minute situation at the end of the half was really, really a big deal. And to make a drive and get a touchdown, put us within a couple of points was huge. And then we go right back into the sequence, take the ball off them the next time, on the kickoff team, and we wind up getting the safety and all that to tie it up. It was just a lot of crazy stuff that happened in this game that made it the way it was. Unfortunately, we turned the ball over 3 times today. We haven't turned the ball over 7 times all year or something, and the ball just got away from us today. And we needed every one of the ones on the other side. Diggsy's interception, Bobby's interception, fumble recovery on the kicking team. All those things were just so necessary, and we needed every one of them to get it done. So it was exciting for our guys to get AD a touchdown today, so we could tie the great Jim Brown and whatever, that was just for fun, and thrilled that he got a chance to do that and have him with us on this game. Thought Rashad Penny looked really good today. Got some good carries out of him, a really good screenplay. We need him so badly to start lighting it up, and we think that he's got a chance to do that. Fortunately, he made it back this week. He had a hamstring just 2 weeks ago, and usually the guys don't make it, but he toughed it out and got through it. That's a big deal. It was a really big deal for him to overcome that and play this game, and and help us. I don't know. Go ahead. I just yapping here to give you some stuff. Go ahead.
Sorry if I missed it, but how's Jamal doing?
He sprained his shoulder today, the one that was operated on. So I don't know any updates as far as other than that.
Let's just go through everybody. Brian Monet, Shell.
Monet had a knee that he put a brace on and was okay to go back. Toughed that out for sure. Brandon Shell, same shoulder that's been bothering him, just aggravated again. Not a whole lot worse than it was last week, but he didn't finish last week either. We should note Jake Curran and Forsythe, got a chance to play in this game, and Stone, those guys, they did a nice job to help us finish the game, coming through a couple of pups out there, so that was pretty special.
Carlos Dunlap rising up after you've mothballed him a couple games. What's his professionalism been through this whole process?
Yeah, I think that was a great illustration of a guy just hanging tough and believing in himself, and we believed in him also. Gave him a chance with his matchup today. Totally came through and had a big day with the sack for the safety is gorgeous, and then of course the big play at the end. Knocking the ball up in the air, huge plays. And he was bringing the heat all day long as well.
You guys have had some memorable goal line stands here. What was that moment like? Those
That's great, man. There's really, when you play this game, there is nothing more thrilling than those opportunities to end the game. We've had a couple last year, remember New England or whatever it was a couple years ago, and we've had a bunch of them over the years. But there's nothing more thrilling than that, because every fiber of your body is cranking those guys out there. We'll never forget those 4 plays, and to come through in that way, a couple runs and then incomplete, and then the ball gets knocked down on 4th down. Yeah, it was a sensational moment, and for our fans too, they deserve it so much. I'm so glad they got to have the fun of seeing that happen.
Were you second guessing at all, not having kicked the field goal prior to that, or?
Nah, never thought twice about it.
What do you think?
Russ was strong. He had a good, solid football game. Made some great throws in the game. We took a couple sacks, and we need to talk about that. I thought maybe we could get rid of the football one way or the other, but I thought he played a really good football game. And the 2-minute drill was exquisite. Again, the play to Tyler for the touchdown, that orchestration of that route and the concept and the call and all that was a great call by Shane, and great execution by the guys, and a great toss. we should have scored the other time down there. You know, Gerald had a chance. He's in the end zone. That's a touchdown, and we had the other one too. You know, so Russ had a couple more touchdowns in him today that didn't show up, and so I thought he played a really good game.
Speaking of Gerald, he's played so hard for you this year to have those 3 plays go against him like that.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking day. You know, because I mean he's a tough, competitive, come through guy, and those plays just went the other way.
You signed Adrian Peterson on Wednesday. He practices twice at 36 years old. Did you think when you signed him that this would be realistic for him to play this much and contribute this much?
Yeah, hoped, you know, and really I just wanted to bring him in to give him a chance to, you know, to see our guys and be with our team and all. I thought it was just such a rare opportunity, and he totally exceeded my expectations of his influence just being in our locker room and being on a practice field. He was so much the consummate pro about taking this opportunity to heart and going for it. You know, I mean, he's played a lot of football, you know, and he was so serious about it and so strict about the way he did everything. He executed beautifully. He had a great week of practice, and he needed to play, you know, and we knew he had that touchdown thing that we were trying to get, and the celebration was for the big guys that knocked it in so that he got a chance to score there, so it was worth it. It was very much worth it.
What went into the decision on the fourth down run from punt formation?
Really, that's the guys that, you know, picked up an opportunity for us, you know, in the study during the week, and you know, so we had to, you know, it's a pretty cool call, you know, to go for that, and you know, you have to figure out where you know, how far back in the situation and all, and so, you know, I said go for it, and you know, going into the weekend, if we got the chance, you know, kind of wherever it was, if it was legit and we really saw it cleanly, let's go for it, which we did, and it happened to be the first drive, and we're backed up, and you know, and it was perfectly executed by the guys.
You think Kyle Fuller? How's he?
Yeah, he sprained his ankle. I don't know any update on that either.
So nothing to suggest that any of those guys who didn't finish would be long-term things?
No, I don't know anything about any of that right now. Sorry.
Adrian Peterson, in your plans for the coming week?
Yeah, he's coming to the meetings on Monday. Here we go.
Holding that rushing attack to 71 yards after what they've done lately, so what does that tell you about your defense?
I tell you, that's a really, really. I'm glad you brought it up, John. I didn't mention it. That's a real accomplishment. These guys have rushed for, I don't know, almost 700 yards in the last 3 weeks, and turned their season around doing that. And for our guys, I mean, I saw up there on the board at one time, it was 61 yards in the fourth quarter. You know, holy cow. You know, that happened to them one other time. Might have been the start of the season. The Cardinals might have done that to them. This is a team that is fully committed to running the football. Fully committed to it. They've run it average of 40 times a game for the last 3 weeks, and our guys took the challenge. Kenny and Clint and Johnny, they all got their guys ready to go, and the guys went out there and played their tails off to get that done. That's a big deal. It's a big deal, you know. And I was, you know, we've been holding points down pretty good, and I'm just so disappointed that we were 23 early, you know, and then they shut them out in the second half. What a great effort by the guys in the second half. Third and fourth quarter, nothing. Beautiful.
You asked Chris to get his first touchdown.
Yeah, that was great. He looked good. He had a couple plays, you know, made first down and did a couple things that you know, that we're not surprised by. He's really got some strength to him and some explosiveness that will continue to allow him to make plays. We just got to get him going more. But he did a really nice job for us today.
How exciting is it to have him and the two offensive linemen, Forsythe and Kieran, all stepping up in a game like that when you guys were losing, and to be able to come back and them play such a big role and come back?
I know. No, this is the time of year that these guys should be able to help us. They've been getting the reps. They've been involved enough in the preparation that they should, you know, we expect that this could happen, and fortunately the guys really came through. I don't know how they did. I can't tell you that, but I know we made it through it, and of course Dwayne he made a couple big plays as well. But just those guys coming off the bench in that crucial of opportunity and to come through is really a big deal for the big fellas.
Just to clarify, why did you go for it on 4th and 1 there?
Because we were going to make a first down right there, and we made first down. It was a really good idea. I didn't foresee the next thing happening. You know, I liked having the football. I knew we could make that one, and I wanted my guys to know that we're going for it. Really, you know, we're going for it, and you know, we should have got a touchdown there.
In terms of just always competing and believing in the messaging that you have, what does a win do for, you know, getting guys to buy in?
These guys are bought in, really, really. They have to be at this point, to be hanging like this throughout, even, you know, they are. I trust in the leadership, Bobby and Russ and all, you know, the guys Dwayne I always tell you about. They continue to send the message. They keep us together. Last night, I'll tell you, you guys will have fun with this. And last night, Tyler did a really nice job in the meeting with us, and he had a chance to bring up something that he wanted to talk about and gave him the opportunity. He did a great job with our guys about hanging together and about why we are connected in the way that we are. It was really cool, and I think it had something to do with it today.
You talked about the fake punt already, but just special teams as a whole with the forced
God,
fumble.
they're on fire. Mikey kicked the ball. I mean, he did it again. I saw it on the board. I didn't realize he'd had the most balls inside the 20 than anybody in the league. Well, that makes sense because he's freaking great at what he does. Did you see the one he spun that bounced and went about 70 or whatever that was? It was exactly the way he had planned it. He told me when he came off. I don't know. That's what he said. Tell you what he said. I'm just telling you what he said.
That was Lockett, right? Tyler Lockett? No, right. Last night, we spoke to the team.
Yeah.
Lockett.
Same lines. Travis Homer, obviously, the touchdown run jumps out, but he was just all over the place too.
Having him back, we really missed him the week before because he's just so tough and he's so on to and takes such great pride in being a leader on special teams. It's so classy that he gets the chance to do that. I remember he had one a couple years ago, wherever that was, as well. You got to look out for him. He's dangerous. So we'll get everybody to be really afraid of us from now on. So that'll help us. But
how close was Alex Collins being to playing today?
it was close. We had this week with 3 guys, that were in question. I just went with the guys that practiced the best this week, that were the most healthy during practice, using that as the information. Alex will be ready to go, I think, next week. He's needed a week off for some time now, and this may help him down the stretch.
The 3rd and 14 pass to DK was a pretty big play.
Yeah. A great conversion for us right there. A beautiful throw and catch.
In general, what role do you think 3rd down on both sides of the ball contributed to the win?
Well, I think we're 3 for 10 on defense, and that held up pretty nice. It felt like, maybe because we're not accustomed, we converted 5 third downs today on offense. That's more than we've been doing. It still didn't come out percentage-wise like we like, but we had some big 3rd down wins, and you can see how it just factors into the drives. And we'll continue to be at it, and it'll tell the story for the rest of the season, how we convert there.
Anything else? Thanks.
See ya.
Nick, when you were working on that play in practice, did you ever have it spring quite that free?
Sometimes it does, but you're like, it'll never happen in the game. But it was pretty exciting to see Homer just take it like that, and he was so kind to slow down a little bit so I can get out in front of him a little bit. But yeah, it was. You don't envision it working that well, but it's always great to see.
You guys obviously don't get a lot of chance to do those plays. When you see the look you want, you realize it's kind of just how exciting is that for everybody that you guys are going to pull that off?
It's more pure panic, but I was excited to see it actually worked. You talk about doing it, and weeks go by, and it kind of the look never arises, and then we were like, all right, we're going to call it, and then you don't really know till you get out there, and then Homer called it. Of course, he's going to call it because he gets the ball, but it worked great, and doing something like that to spark the team is what we look for on special teams.
You had the nice block on Adrian's touchdown run. Can you take us through that play?
Yeah, he is probably wondering who I was because I haven't actually got to meet him yet. And I went over, I think, for one play of walkthrough on offense, and he kind of looked at me, and I didn't get a chance. I didn't want to introduce myself. But I was just glad to kind of help out any way I could to get him in the end zone because I think he passed somebody for touchdown runs, which was awesome because I'm really old and he's even older. So I remember watching him when I was in college, high school, all of that. And, some guys were in elementary school watching him in the pros. So a legend like that, you have a little extra juice for to try to get him in the end zone.
So you're just doing defensive meetings at this point, right? So is that why you hadn't met him yet?
Yeah, mostly. I mean, we got most of the offensive install early in camp. So luckily I'm able to kind of go over when they need me. But yeah, it was fun to get that play called and get him in there.
Did you meet him afterward?
Yeah, briefly. I'd like to kind of a more thorough introduction, but I think he got the point.
How much of a spark do you think that fake punt gave you guys? Does everyone seem fired up after that?
Yeah, I think there's the momentum of it, and I think, statistically, if you score on special teams, the probability of winning goes way up. So, obviously this season has not gone the way we wanted to, and, we as special teams need to help out the offense and defense if there's struggles on either side of the ball, and to get something like that, I think is huge for the team.
How personally rewarding was this for you after the way the game ended in Washington last week?
Yeah, obviously it was a pretty brutal week for me personally after messing that up so bad in the Washington game. And, we are, a third of the team doing special teams, but, you can't make mistakes, like I made last week. And, you can't get it back. And I think the only thing you can do is, move forward like we did today. And, it isn't perfect and it isn't, exactly what we wanted, but ultimately, all we can do is what we did today. And, to get the win, I think was, big.
Take us through the forced fumble. Obviously, you're going down kick coverage, trying to make a play. Just how'd that sort of all play out?
Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of super lucky. Just put my arm out there, and luckily the ball came out. I'd like to say that I meant to do that, but, officially I did mean to do that. But, unofficially, I was just glad to see it out. And then I don't even know who got it. I think Homer got it, which was awesome because, again, like scoring on special teams, getting a turnover like that is huge.
How have you seen this team kind of respond? I mean, as you mentioned, the record isn't what you guys wanted to, and tough loss Monday night. You got to come back 6 days later, basically, and play a hot team in the 49ers. I mean, what was the week of practice like and all that?
Yeah, I think, nothing has really changed for us in terms of our effort week to week in practice. And it makes it a little bit, obviously we have a chip on our shoulder. This season has not gone the way we wanted it to, but we know that we have the guys in the room to get it done, and it's easy to get up for a game like the 49ers, obviously. I think we have a lot of strong character on this team in terms of we've faced adversity, and, it hasn't exactly gone the way we wanted it to, and it's gone the other way a lot of years in this, organization. And I think we just wanted to put something out there that the fans could be proud of.
I know you're not directly involved with on the quarterback play, but what did you see from Russell during the week of practice that might have been different from the previous 2 or 3 weeks?
I think the thing with Russ that you see that is amazing is just the consistency of his preparation, and it's pretty unwavering from week to week. So to see differences, I don't know that I see differences. It's the same Russ you see every week, no matter what happened the week before, which is something you can really admire because you don't see that about a bunch of guys. I've played a decent amount of games, but it's hard to kind of stay consistent like that over the course of years, year after year after year, whether it's practice, meetings, all that stuff. So it's something I think we all look, he's someone we look to for, kind of that cornerstone of the program in terms of, prepping the same no matter what the record is and, leading us week to week.
What was the celebration like in the locker room?
It's always fun to beat them, obviously. And, we've kind of had a rough go of it the last couple of weeks. So I think there was a little bit of a relief to kind of finally, right the ship a little bit. Obviously, we're still not where we want to be, but, to have the fan support we had tonight, based on, what's happened in the last couple of weeks was amazing to see because a lot of places don't get that based on the record and all that. But I think it was awesome to kind of have the support of our fans that's unwavering as well. So we had to kind of do it for them.
One more on the big punt. Is it right that was something you guys saw on film study this week and just implemented for this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's something we kind of always talk about week to week, but, it's just, it's one of those things that, we kind of needed a spark, and, I think that, the look was there, so it's, might as well run it.
Does always have the green light on that, or is that just a case by week-to-week basis whether he has that? Because that's not a situation we normally see that.
Right, it's kind of week to week, and like I said, obviously he gets to call his own number, so of course he's going to call it. But it was like it usually works in practice, and what I've seen over the years of playing special teams, it tends to work more times than it doesn't. Obviously, if it doesn't work, it looks terrible. But I think it. Coach Izzo and Coach Tracy, it was awesome that, and obviously Pete probably, gave it the green light and believes in us to execute it, and it worked better than I ever thought it could. So it was awesome to see.
Anything else? Thanks, Dave.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
D getting that first NFL touchdown, just how'd that feel?
It felt great. Yeah, it kind of knocked away everything when it comes to jitters, all of that stuff. So now, I can be more free to play, and I'm excited.
Particularly rewarding given everything you've been through this year. Obviously it was a tough start with the injury and everything else.
Definitely. I feel like that's the prize from all the adversity that I faced this year. So, I'm going to continue to hopefully get in the end zone this year.
What was that adversity like? Can you describe what you were going through after the concussion?
It was just a lot of things that weren't corrected, that I had to correct. I don't want to go into all the details, but it was a strenuous process that that I had to stay consistent with, and it took a while, but I'm glad to be back.
Was the play was it designed for you, or obviously you guys did a 2-minute drill there? Or was it just sort of you just got opening through it to you? Or?
Yeah, Russ went through his progressions. I think I was the last progression, so they just gave us a look to where my route was open at that time.
The play earlier in that drive, just take us through that. If you get the catch, make the guy miss, and then I'm guessing you realize you had to get out of bounds to stop.
Yeah, we were all in 2-minute mode, so obviously catch the ball, get as much as you can, and get out of bounds to stop the clock, so that I don't get tackled in bounds and the clock keeps going. So I just did my job and it worked out.
Anything else? Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
So, thanks.
Seemed to have Jimmy Garoppolo's number, 3 interceptions now on him in 5 games. What's behind that?
I don't know, I just be in the right spot, right time, and, if he throw it, I'm going to catch it. So that's the motto I've been kind of living by, just going to get the ball, and, that ball changed your life. So, we'll see where it goes.
Could you take us through that interception, please?
I mean, it was tip and overthrow. I think Bobby had a great hook drop, and, the receivers kind of got a little too close, and I was just in the post, That's one of those ones where you just got to catch it, And when they caught it, and we knew all week that they run a lot of inside breaking routes, and, I kind of said all week, I'm like, if he throw one of those hanging across the middle, I'm going to get it, and I'm going to try to score it. But that lineman kind of fast, so I had to get out of bounds.
What did you feel like changed at halftime for you guys defensively?
I mean, we knew we wasn't playing our standard, no matter what the offense is doing, no matter what special teams is doing, we got a standard that we have to play to, and we wasn't doing that, They had 23 points in the first half. That's been uncharacteristic of us, for the last 6-7 weeks. So we had to come in and we had to put our foot down. And Ballore went out and made a great special teams play, got us the ball back, and even though we didn't score on that, and we knew we had them backed up, and we had to keep them backed up. So it was just one of those opportunities for us to go out and put a stamp on the game, and I think we did that in the second half by allowing no points in the second half.
Can you describe the goal line stand at the end, what the attitude was going into it?
I mean, it's amazing, ain't it? Like, I feel like every time we get down, the game comes down to that same end zone every time we play here. So it was just one of those things where we had to bow up. We knew we had to bow up and get a stop, and I think, for us, it's one of those things where, like, we never give up, we always fight. I think this is a very resilient group, and, no matter how people bash us and say, we done and all this, we always believe, and I think that comes from great leadership.
What role have the leaders in the locker room played in the last few weeks in keeping this together, even though the wins haven't been there?
I mean, it's been great to be around a group of guys that are always positive and have a positive mindset, no matter, what the outcome is, win, lose, or draw. And I think even for myself, I kind of pulled back on some of the days where I was in Detroit and, we wasn't winning a lot of games, but we had to keep fighting because, You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the other team never cares, you know what I mean, if you lost last week or not. They want to come in, they want to beat you up too. So I think that's just kind of been the message, you know what I mean? Just keep pushing forward, keep doing us, and just let everything play out. You know, we've lost some games that we've accustomed to winning in the last couple minutes or so. So we knew, I mean, it was about time we got one, and we were able to get it today.
Did anything change for you when Jamal had to go out of the game at all? Or?
I mean, I think, well, of course, when he leaves, I have to bring a little bit more energy. You know, he's definitely the energizer bunny. He's the tone setter. And I think when I realized he was down, it was just like, okay, I got to help pick the guys up too. Because me, I'm so far back, you know, so far back in the post, you know, sometimes it's hard for me to get into a groove and kind of make big plays. So I knew it was an opportunity for me to step up and just kind of, you know, fill some of that void that's left by my brother.
What's that sound like and look like when you're stepping up your energy?
I mean, I'm just talking a little bit more. You know, I think you guys probably think I talk a lot, but on the field, I'm very chill. I just be, you know, chilling until somebody really mess with me or bother me. But I just think it's just, you know, running the alley, getting the ball, you know what I mean, any way I can get it. But definitely running the alley and trying to set a tone and let guys know, like, this is what it's going to be. So I get into it with linemen and all, you know, I don't really care. So that's just kind of how I am.
What was most critical in shutting down the San Francisco running game?
I mean, you guys have seen how these guys been running the ball last 3 or 4 weeks. You know, they've been trying to set a tone, and, you know, they want to be the tone setters. So for us, we knew it was going to be a physical game, so we knew what we had to do. We knew we had to stop the run. I think the front seven, they did a tremendous job of stopping it, and they were up for the challenge today. And they handled it, and, you know, it definitely helped us get this dub today.
To the team as a whole, signing Adrian Peterson this week, Pete talked about maybe that kind of sending a little bit of a message to you guys or whatever, just sort of his presence and everything.
No question. Anytime you can get a Hall of Fame in the building, a guy that's very accomplished, that's won a lot of football games, has done a lot of big-time things in the league. You know, I mean, I've been watching AP forever, you know, even though he's a Sooner. I've been watching him forever. I've heard all. I remember when he was in high school hearing the tales of, like, they got this guy out of East Texas, like, he's the truth, and then you see him get to Oklahoma, and he plays in those big games, and he's doing that. And just to have his presence in the building, you know what I mean, he's one of the guys that just kind of, you know what I mean, he brings a positive mindset. You know what he's going to do, and you could tell the way he practices that he's all about business, and it's dope to have him around.
If Ryan Neal has to step in for Jamal, what have you seen from him?
I mean, you guys seen it last year. You know what I mean? He's a spark plug, too. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys that we trust very much. He's a guy that always asks questions, that's always in the right spot. And we just got to get him to slow down a little bit mentally when he just, you know, he gets going, you know. So we got to slow him down because he's so hyped to be out there. But other than that, he's a great player. I love being on the same team as Ron because I know what I'm going to get out of him every day.
I think that's 4 interceptions for you. With your contract situation being what it is, what kind of statement do you think you're making this season?
Hey, man, whatever it is, I just let my play do the talking. Right? I ain't going to keep going through with the contract stuff. Everybody knows what it is. Everybody know how I feel about this place. So when that time comes, it comes. Until then, I'm going to just keep doing my thing and just keep proving the point that, you know, I still remember I didn't get 1 All-Pro vote last year. So I'm going to continue to try to make that statement.
Jamal was back on the sidelines for the second half. I guess what was his demeanor? I mean, was he frustrated?
I mean, you guys know him. You know, I mean, of course he was hurt about the injury, but at the end of the day, you know, I mean, when I came out the field, he was the first person to congratulate me when I came out the field. That's just, I mean, that's the type of relationship me and him has, and you know, we just happy for each other. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm hoping he can get back out there. You know what I mean? The camaraderie we have, the tone setters that we try to be, it's a big part of it. So, you know, I hope the best.
What's it do for the defense when Michael Dixon's putting punts inside the 10-yard line?
He's the best. He's the best in the league. I mean, this is a guy that won the MVP of a bowl game at Texas. You know what I mean? So we know what he brings each and every day. I mean, he knows what he brings. He's a very confident guy. So he knows what he's doing, and he does a lot of great work. And, I mean, like I think I told you guys before, I remember when I would go back and train when he was in college, he was just outside punting the ball at our bubble at UT all the time. So he's a guy that works his tail off, and, you know, everything that he's getting, he deserves.
Anything else?
Thanks, man. Thank you.
He's a little bit shorter than I am, so.
Carlos, how'd that win feel?
It feels amazing. It feels amazing. You know, we had a couple ugly losses here for a bit, so it feels good to get an ugly win. We can make the corrections, adjustments, and, you know, everything's better after a win.
What's that goal line situation like? I mean, you've had a couple of these last couple of years where you're backed up and games on the line. What's that like?
For me, when given the opportunity to go straight and impact the game in those situations, I like my odds, and I'm betting with me every time. And they gave it to us there on the safety situation, and they got me in there on that last play as well. So I just had to seize my moment.
What's the last couple, I mean, I think you only played 4 snaps last week. What's these last couple of weeks been like for you?
For me, it's frustrating. You know, this is new for me, my career, but you know, the coaches have communicated this is the role that they want for me and would like for me. So I just took advantage. You know, I focused in on seizing those opportunities, and today, I don't know if it was 10 plays or whatever it was, but we made something happen.
When you say something new, you mean just like more standing up coverage, outside linebacker-ish role? Is that like the new for you?
Well, that's a whole nother thing, but that's not what I was talking about. You know, just the less snaps. You know, I'm used to playing over 60% of the snaps my whole career, and I've had a consecutive streak of being healthy. So I like to keep doing that because I feel like as a rhythm rusher, it's easiest to get going when you have more opportunities. With more opportunities, you get more results. But today we seized every moment that we were able to get within what we got.
Feel like today might change that plan?
No. They've communicated that, and they've stuck to it, and we're going to keep it going. I'm just control what I can and do what I can, and I don't want this to be a negative interview because we won. So this is the best thing about getting one win, going 1-0, is the opportunity to go 2-0. So now we're going to reset, refocus on getting ready for this next. And I needed 12 to say a prayer for Jamal, what he's going through, and give mental clarity to my dog Gerald. He had a rough day at work, but he's a strong mental guy. But, you know, as a competitor, you hate letting, you know, giving another team that opportunity. So I know how he feels right now. So y'all just, you know, for everybody that had some adversity today, Bichelle as well. He's been battling for us and fighting for us. And anybody, and then the first play of the game, whoever that guy was, you know, very few times in my career have I seen an ambulance come on the field, and that's not a good sign. So prayers up for everybody who, you know, dinked, injured, or whatever today. And thankful for the win.
Carlos, how big was it for you just to get the safety, to get the deflection on the last play? Can you kind of talk us through both of them?
It's felt amazing to come through for my teammates, really. You know, they've been looking for me to make these plays all season and hadn't quite made them and had, you know, whatever you want to say going on. But today came through. Simple as that.
What was the discussion on the 4th down play where you blocked the pass?
What was the discussion?
Yeah, in the huddle before the play.
We're going to call this for the win. I'm not going to tell you what the call was, but Bobby said we're going to call this for the win, and we did it. We got the win. So go Hawks.
I'm sorry, Carlos. In that situation, pass rusher, 4th down, at what point do you bail on rushing the quarterback and jump up to try to knock down the pass?
There's no true point when you bail. You always want to rush first. I know I've been fortunate to get a lot of batted balls in my career, but my mentality is rush first. And then if it's not getting there or I see quarterback about to throw it, the next best thing is to try to affect the throw, get your hand on it, and I got one today too.
What was Tyler Lockett's message to you guys yesterday?
You know, the best teams are families, and, you know, we got to know each other a lot better yesterday. Had one of those hard talks, and, you know, it feels good to get this win after, you know, something like that as well. So, you know, we're setting a new foundation for something for us to build on, and right now we got one win with that new foundation, and let's keep stacking them.
What was so hard about the talk?
I mean, I don't like going into what we have in private, so I'm going to be very vague with that and leave it at what it was unless, you know, unless I was told that I was supposed to talk about it or something. I don't know. I'm surprised you know about it. That's, yeah.
Pete Carroll happened to mention it.
Oh, so he already told everything?
Tyler gave it
Yes,
time.
he did.
Okay, so he just basically made it open floor for everybody to communicate their why and why we sacrifice what we do for this game, why we continue to work and fight for this game when the season's going the way it is, why, you know, we're here, how did we get here, where we came from, who are we doing it for, you know, and a lot of the messages were very impactful, and I will not relay them, so don't ask.
What's yours? What's your why?
My why? For me, as a competitor, I just want to continue to prove myself right. I've been blessed with the talent and the ability to play this game for a long time, and I've had a community of support with my foundation, starting with my parents and my family, and I just want to continue to prove them right and bring awareness to and open the door for the kids back home, because, you know, growing up, I knew I wasn't the best athlete initially on my team. So I know there's many guys who probably could have been here in my shoes, but I'm the one here, so I just want to make sure I bring awareness and leave that door open for the next and give back so I can support the next up-and-coming kid, and, you know, simple as that. I hope I answered that right, because I know I ran off.
What do you personally want to do, show, accomplish over the last 5 games?
My goal is still to get over 100 sacks this year, and that's my whole intention. Has been that the whole year, and we got one today, so that's one less that we got to get.
You know for sure they were passing on that play, on the third down there, or on the safety?
Oh, on the safety? I mean, yeah. I had a pretty good hunch, and had a couple of things that I look at that cosign, and I did what we communicated as a D-line, and we had a plan, and we were on the same page today. As you see, a lot of guys were rushing, hitting the quarterback. We had a lot of opportunities to communicate with each other on the field and work together on the field, you know, versus what he was alluding to. So that was great, and we're getting results out of it, and we're going to keep building on this foundation that we have with this one win, or I would like to.
You mentioned that they communicated to you why they have this new role for you in mind. Why is that?
In the past, they've done this with players in their career, and they've seen benefits from it. So, you know, I never tried it, so I just communicated that I like getting the rhythm, because I feel like I'm a rhythm rusher with more opportunities. I get, you know, more results in my career when put in position. But they communicated that this role has worked for them and things that they've done, and it helps pay off dividends longer and later in the season, all kind of, you know, pros and cons about it. So I just been trying to be a really good teammate and deliver what I'm supposed to do when called on. So that's what I've been working to do, and that's what's been so frustrating up to this point. I haven't been able to deliver that. But, you know, staying committed to the role and putting in the same work and shooting for every opportunity when given to me.
Why do you think that you haven't been able to deliver as much as you hoped for? How would you assess the way you've played to this point?
I mean, within how it's been dealt, I feel like I've, you know, approached it pretty well and handled it pretty well. That's a loaded question, and the way that you kind of asked it doesn't allow me to answer it the way that I would like to, so I'm not going to. But I take the same work, dedication, and preparation into every game as if I was going to play the whole game. And when the opportunity comes, that's why I was able to be ready. That's the pro.
What's the inspiration behind
I want this to be about the team, not just me today.
I got to ask you a fashion question then. What's the inspiration behind the one glove?
Oh, I don't know. It kind of caught on last year. I used to play with one glove because, you know, I always felt like my right hand, being right-handed, was strong enough to grip and grab everything. So I used to play with one glove, and then, you know, here it's cold enough where you need a glove, and then, you know, sometimes this one has the little Texan thing, but it doesn't always work that good, so, you know, I like to keep a hand. And then it became my splat, so everybody expected to see it, so I just rolled with it and keep it going.
Thanks, Carlos.
Thanks, Carlos.
Thank you. Go Hawks. That's not my phone, right? No.
you guys doing? Great. Feels good to win.
Is this a relief or excitement for
I wouldn't say relief. I think that just we had a great week of practice this week. We were all dialed in. We stayed zoned in on what the task was. Nobody blinked, and that's why I think we were able to win this game. This game was definitely a crazy one. There's a lot of, it felt like a crazy NFC West, battle. Obviously going back and forth between two great teams, but we remained neutral along the way. Didn't get too high, didn't get too low. We were able to execute when we needed to. Had some key third down conversions and everything else, and obviously scoring in the red zone was huge for us. That was really great to see Etcher score a touchdown, his first touchdown. To see Tyler Lockett make that great catch in the back corner was a really special play. DK had some great catches too as well. Adrian Peterson, I mean, come on, think about this. I was fortunate to be able to hand off the ball to Adrian Peterson, where he ties. I think he ties Jim Brown. I mean, just what a remarkable experience just for me personally. Just I've been able to play with some amazing players, and to be able to hand off the ball to Adrian Peterson to let him score there was pretty special. I've always admired his work ethic and everything else. So I thought the line did a great job battling, against a really good defensive line. We kept going there, kept battling. Guys made some tremendous plays. How about Homer's touchdown? The defense was lights out, making plays. Just seeing the turnovers they were able to get, that was key. And I think the fans were amazing tonight too as well. That really helped as well, especially in that last little stretch of the game.
You mentioned third down. I think you were 0 for 4 to start, and then it was like 5 for 7 on those touchdown drives. What changed for you guys as an offense?
We had some almost plays on the first half, just barely, just short of it or whatever it may be, and then we had a couple long distances in the first half, third and long. So, those are going to happen. We're not going to usually convert those, but when we were able to, have a good first and second down plays, stay in manageable situations, we were able to convert on those third downs. We got hot in the second half, made a lot of those, and then in red zone we were lights out when we needed to be. That's what it's got to be.
What did you say, the pass to DK on the 3rd and 14, what did you kind of see there on that play?
Well, we wanted to back it up. That's why we took the delay of game. We wanted to back it up so we could get a little further on the go ball. DK did a tremendous job of just slide stepping and got inside the guy. And normally I throw one of those moon balls down the field, but I was able to put the ball kind of more on a line drive throw, just so he could fit it in there to him. He makes a great catch. He almost got in the end zone, and then we ended up scoring in that drive.
Russ, say anything to Gerald Everett? I mean, it was a rough day for him with basically 3 turnovers on him with the 2 fumbles and the dropped touchdown and all that. How did you kind of manage through that with him, and how rough was it to see that from him today?
Well, the one thing I told Gerald is I always will believe in him. He's a tremendous football player. He's been great for us this season. I went over to him, just talked to him. You're going to help us throughout this game and throughout this rest of the season. Just keep your head clear, and so. I have no doubt what Gerald Everett's going to do, how he's going to respond. He's a competitive warrior guy out there, man. He's a tremendous football player. You guys have seen what he's been able to do for us all season. So the one guy you don't have to worry about is Gerald Everett and what he's going to bring back to the table and how he's going to play.
You guys have had a couple of those late game, the opponent's driving, defense needs to stop. Obviously the defense is out there doing their thing. What's it like for you on the sideline watching that play out?
Yeah, well, I always believe. I think that's the first thing, and it always takes great belief. And I think our whole sideline, believe in our defense and be able to come up with a huge stop. Just seeing, when you got a guy like Bobby Wagner out there, you always know something's going to happen, and just because of good feelings. And then Carlos Dunlap made some huge plays there just to knock the ball down. I mean, that's why he's here. He's been one of the best in the world at it for a long time. So I thought our defense just kept battling, and the fans were great, like I said. And so for me, I just stay focused on getting ready just in case they score. For me, I just remain neutral, stay focused on what I may have to do. And then if we get the ball back because they score or something like that, then that's kind of my mentality. But what I do know is our defense is hopefully going to be able to come up with a huge stop, and they did it. They did it once again.
What was the effect of the team meeting last night and everyone explaining their whys? What is your why?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool last night. Tyler was able to talk to our whole team about our why. Why do we play, and guys went around the room and were able to talk about their whys, and it was really touching, really special to hear from guys about why they play the game, where's it come from, what's the depths of it all, and some really amazing stuff. For me personally, I think number one why for me is, man, God's given me a talent. and it's to glorify him. You know, that's the number one reason why I get to do this and why I love doing it. You know, playing for him. I think the second part of it is obviously my family. You know, I think about, you know, obviously Sierra, my kids, you know, future seeing a win, but also, you know, my brother, my sister, my mom, you know, what an amazing woman she is and how she's been able to be such a rock in my life. And she's always texting me early in the mornings, late at nights, you know, just giving me some amazing advice, you know, and just giving me scripture and just feeling my spirit. So my mom's always been amazing at doing that, and that's always been a key part of it. And then, you know, I think about the early mornings with my dad, you know, why I do it. You know, I think that, you know, when I think about my dad, I know that he wishes he would be here. And like I always tell you guys, he's got the best seat in the house. So, but I think that when I think about that, you know, I think about my family, my closest people in my life, you know, I do it for them, you know. And then, you know, at the same time, I'm a self-motivator. You know, every day I wake up, you know, I'm trying to be great. You know, and that's in anything I do. You know, that's you got to wake up with that mentality. You know, in the midst of storms, knowing that, like I said to you guys earlier in the week, consider it pure joy when go through trials and tribulations, because the testing of my faith that builds perseverance. And I think that in the midst of stuff, midst of storms, I just keep my head clear. And I think the final part is that, you know, the last part of the why is, you know, I've been fortunate to come play in this game. You know, I'm 5'11", you know, right at 5'11", and to be able to play this game and to be able to do it and to know, you know, that a lot of other great quarterbacks and players and not, you know, have more opportunity and also because of just me going after it every day. And I think that's something that I want to give hope to every boy, every girl in the world that, you know, why not you? You know, and so I think that's, as you guys saw my cleats today, you know, I have the Why Not You on the side, Why Not You Academy, all that stuff. That's part of it for me every day, is just trying to be an inspiration for somebody else who says, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that, you're not any good anymore, you're not this, you're not that. Well, I think that if you keep the right perspective and you always believe, why not? Why not you? So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that God's given me the opportunity to do it.
How much more dialed in, Russ, did you feel this week?
I felt dialed in the weeks before. I think that you're just getting back into the groove of it all, you know. And you know, I think back to, you know, I've never missed a game, you know, in any sport, you know. So you get back to the field, and we played some really good football teams too. So you know, there's some challenges there. But you know, obviously, you know, I think that I just stayed the course. You know, I think mentally I was so locked in, physically, everything else too. And so, you know, it's fun. You know, I told you guys earlier in the week. You know, what I really wanted to focus on this week was just joy, you know, just joy, you know, just bringing joy to the facility, joy in the midst of everybody talking stuff about us and everything else. It's just, you know, we get to play this amazing game, you know, this amazing game called football that we're gifted to be able to play it. And so for me, you know, I just wanted to bring joy, because that's who I am. That's my mentality. That's what I love to do. And you know, I'm competitive as can be, but also I love trying to bring joy and peace and also too at the same time, I love winning. You know, I love the process of it all. So what I did this week was just stay focused on the process. You know, nothing else. You know, like I told you guys earlier in the week, you know, I had a great, you know, former head coach tell me, you know, NFL coach tell me, you're gonna be a Hall of Famer, have a Hall of Fame demeanor. Have a Hall of Fame demeanor all week. He said to me, have a Hall of Fame demeanor. He said, have a Hall of Fame week, have a Hall of Fame day, have a Hall of Fame breakfast. That's got to be your mentality every day, you know, every day, you know. And so that was I mean, I'm always thinking about it, but that was really clear for me what I needed to be like all day, all week, and all the noise and everything else is just, you know, stay focused on what I need to do. And I know what kind of player I am. I know what kind of throws I can make. I know what we can do. And I'm just going to keep swinging.
What's a Hall of Fame breakfast? You said that Thursday. Who was the coach?
Say again?
Who was the coach that said
I'm going to keep that tight. You know, somebody close to me. Yeah.
Hall of Fame breakfast?
Man, well, I didn't have any eggs. I just had bacon, sausage, had some acai bowl, you know, a little shake, you know. So, but I think it's more so the mentality, you know, getting up early. Yeah, I know what you mean.
You mentioned D in his first touchdown. Knowing the struggles that he went through to start the year, what did it mean to see him finally get his?
Yeah, it was so cool just to see D. Eskers get in the end zone. You know, I think that he's worked so hard just to get back. And I know anytime you're injured, it's tough, you know, and he went through some severe stuff, you know. And I really relate to D. Eskridge because, you know, my sister had gone through some stuff, you know, with concussions and everything else. And so, you know, when we got to talk, you know, and he asked me what for advice and everything else, you know, earlier on when he was struggling getting back, I said, I think you need to go to the best guy in the world. you know, and that's where my sister went. I said, you know, I had a very straightforward conversation with him. I said, hey, you need to get the treatment that's going to take care of you, you know, and you need to go. There's a guy named Dr. Manny Danucci down in Florida. He's the best in the world at it. And he fixed my sister. I'm not going to lie. Everybody told my sister she would never play again, you know, multiple doctors and people, and he's amazing. So he went down there, Dr. Manny Danucci went down there the first time, just only for a few days, but it's really a 5-day process. So I said, hey, go back there again. You know, and he did, and the training staff here was great too as well, and supportive of him and everything else. And so, for him to get cleared and to, you know, he's such a hard worker, and that was cool. And everybody was celebrating that tonight. So I felt really happy for him. I know he's going to continue to work his butt off. He gets there early every morning. I get to work with him every morning early, around 6:15, 6:30 during the season. And it's just he wants to be great, you know. And so that's just a start. He's got a lot more to do, but it's just a start.
Practice reps with him, but you haven't gotten many game reps with him, and now it seems like you're starting to look for him a lot more out there. Where do you feel like your chemistry is at with him?
Well, I think my chemistry with Eskridge is great. I think he understands the game. He's working really hard at it. He asks great questions. He's tremendously talented, as you guys saw. He's hard to tackle, too. He made some really key plays tonight, so I felt really pumped up for him tonight.
Russ, you've always gotten results on the field throughout your career. What's it been like for this little stretch here when those results haven't been coming for you as easily and working through them?
Well, I think that, you know, it's a long journey. You know, career is a long journey, and there's, you know, I think every great hitter doesn't go up and have the best hitting performance every time, but you got to watch out if they don't. You know, and so I think that's kind of always been my mentality, approach of sports, and just, you know, going for it. You know, I don't ever blink in the process. You know, and so, you know, I have some amazing teammates too, guys who were super supportive this week. You know, just giving me some good energy too as well, and vice versa, and just, you know, let's just go for it. Let's just have fun while we do it, and we were able to do that tonight.
It's been about a month since you've been back. How much better or different, if at all, does your finger feel now compared to then? Yeah,
I mean, every day I get better. Every day, it's just been a cool journey. You know, this past Friday was the first day I was. They were hoping that I could practice. You know, I practiced, you know, 4 weeks before that. You know, so you know, it's I feel great. I feel great. Tonight was a huge night for us, and we made some great plays. The ball came out of my hand great. Every throw of it, felt confident and everything else. And, you know, and just I'm glad that I was able to play, because it also allowed me to, you know, battle and figure, you know, and also, you know, challenge me in a great way, you know, and so mentally and physically. So, you know, I got better today, and I get better every day. So it was a good night.
Anything else?
Thank you guys. Go Hawks. Yep.